Hey guys, it is Wednesday Q&A day. Woo! Lord! Q&A day! Woo! I'm so fired up today. It is Wednesday. It's Q&A day. How are you guys doing today? We have so many people, so many new people here in the Academy, which I love to see. Hey, Billy. Hey, Joni. How are you today? And hey, everybody who's watching it on the Facebook group. Kristen, so awesome to see you here. It is one of my favorite days of the week. It is officially Q&A day, and we have about a good hour to hang out today and to talk about niche recruitment and staffing. Feel free, if you are in here joining us live on the Facebook group, to leave your comments in on the chat box. If you have logged into the Go-To webinar meeting, that's great because we can actually see your comments, which I absolutely love. And I just want to say hey to everybody on the Facebook, on the Go-To meeting group, and we can open up the lines and actually hear your questions live. Hey, Trudy, how are you? So great to see you. And today is actually all about you. Although I love to take over Q&A calls, it is not my job to take over Q&A. It's my job to facilitate Q&A calls and to really give you guys an opportunity to ask questions, so that you can gain better clarity around your business. And I have like a couple of screens open here, so don't freak out if I'm not paying you any attention, because I really am. I just want to make sure that I get all questions answered, so that I can support you guys in any way possible. So if you have questions, hey, Siobhan, if you have questions, if you have comments, if you want to share successes, if you want to talk about challenges, this is definitely the call to do so. We literally, like I said, we have about 1 hour or so, give and take on how many people participate, that we're going to be here. Now, we actually have some questions that came in today that were like written questions. So I'll get to those in a minute. But before I dive into those questions, I really wanted to take a moment to kind of give a couple of announcements and then do a little commentary, as I always do, but before we start Q&A call, to give people an opportunity to kind of come in and get their feet wet with the call. So first things I want to do is welcome all of my new staffingpreneurs. Welcome, staffingpreneurs. Thank you so much for being here. If this is your first Q&A call, we really want to give you a special welcome, because you're getting to experience Staffingpreneurs Academy at one of its greatest. So really excited to have you here. Do me a favor, if you're brand new, put your questions or comments in one of the boxes so that we can definitely support you throughout this journey. Hey, Tracy, how are you? It's so good to see you. Another thing, so I want to talk to the newbies just a little bit. And hey, Sean, how are you? I want to remind you just a few small things. So the culture of Staffingpreneurs Academy is very interesting, right? So I have created this culture where everyone has to take an opportunity to kind of get your learning and your training in before you ask questions, right? So if you're coming into the Academy and you're that individual who's like, let me just come into the Academy and get my questions answered really quickly and not go through the training, you're probably not going to get the level of feedback that you want. All right. Hey, Henry. Hey, Janet. I am very much so. Hey, Sherilyn. I am very much so into professionals, CEOs, which you and I all are, taking the opportunity to use the resources that we have access to. And here in the Academy, everyone here has access to Staffingpreneurs Academy, where we have our learning modules. So before you start throwing your questions out in the Facebook group, please make sure you take an opportunity to actually go through the training. There is a search button within the training portal, and if you have questions, you can type it in. In addition, in the Facebook group, this group has been around since roughly 2015. Any question that you have, I promise you, it has already been asked. So feel free to type your question into the Facebook group. There's a search feature on the left-hand side of the group if you're here from a desktop perspective. And I promise you, if you type in ATS, if you type in sourcing, if you type in recruiting, if you type in sales, you'll see tons and tons of questions come up, and your answer is 9 times out of 10, it's probably there. So please take advantage of the learning that you have in the academy before you ask your questions in the Facebook group, and then also search the Facebook group as well using the search feature. And then, of course, the Q&A call is for any questions that you have, whether you're just showing up and it's your first day, or whether you've been here a million years. It doesn't matter. Q&A call is your call 100%. So I hope I did that some justice there. But I really, really, really encourage people to use their minds and to expand themselves by getting that training in first. So that was the first thing I want to say. And I want to literally welcome all of the newbies. Hey, Satish. Hey, Jeannie. Hey, Kelly, that are here, and everybody else. As y'all can tell, I'm a little exhausted today, but that's okay because I'm still so fired up to be on my Q&A call. Wow! All right. So fired up. Now, if you're on the go-to meeting, we can open up the line for you. And if you have any questions, we can allow you to ask those questions. If you're on the Facebook group, you got to type it in and I'll read your question out loud and we will go from there. Don't be lazy and just go straight to the Facebook group because we actually want to hear your voice. We actually want to hear feel your energy as you're talking to ask your questions. So feel free to watch the Facebook and then also come over into the GoToWebinar group. Before we dive into hardcore questions, let me make the announcement that, again, this is your call. So bring all of your questions here. This is the time. We only do this once a month. So if you have questions, you have comments, you want to share something, please bring them in a group. Now, for my commentary, I don't know, I mentioned in the group earlier this week in the Facebook group, I have my water here just so y'all know. I'm not sure how many of you guys are receiving my emails on a daily basis, but my email list is super popping. And I've been really, really, really passionate about talking about things that are going on in the industry. And one of the things that happened recently, actually the day after my birthday, January 31st, Career Builder and the American Staffing Association, which I'm doing a live webinar with them in June, which I'm very excited about, the American Staffing Association. So once, and it's on rookie recruitment training. So we'll give you guys the exact date once we know, and then you can join the webinar if you're interested. But one of the things that they did recently when they came together and decided to partner was they did a survey. So they surveyed, I want to say, about 800 hiring managers across the country in different niches, and they asked a whole bunch of questions, right? So that we as staffingpreneurs, I feel like they did it for us, you know, so that we'll have a good understanding as to what we need to do differently and how we can be of value to hiring managers across the globe. And I started reading this article, and it came out in the form of a press release on Career Builder's website. And I was so fired up. Oh my gosh, I was so fired up because so many things that they discussed were things that I felt like are conversations that we should be having on a consistent basis. Hey, Pam. Hey, Tiana. And it really started to it got me fired up, actually. I started thinking like, oh my gosh, a lot of my staffingpreneurs are really behind, and they're really looking for ways to grow their business kind of in an old school type of way, because that's the only thing that they know. And I started having this conversation over email about the difference between the old sales model, which is cold call sales demos, qualifying leads, and the new sales model, which focuses on social media education and engaging. And it's so interesting because some people were like, oh, this is dope, D. You know, I really appreciate this. This really opens up my mind and it has me looking in a different direction. And then some people were like, are you kidding me, D? Like this is not how things are. And I'm really disappointed in your emails. I actually got like 4 or 5 emails. It was like, I'm really disappointed in this email, which I thought was very interesting. And I love getting hate mail because it just gets me even more fired up. So it forced me to come out and write a second email about it. And I decided that I was going to really create this email series talking about some of the bullet points that were discussed during the ASA event. I mean, I really went out of my way with this email. If you guys have received it, Tracy says she got the emails and they're helping. Thanks, Tracy. High five. But I like created this whole new sales model, you know, to show you guys what the new sales model looks like. It's kind of get your ideas around, and I still got hate mail. Go me, right? So anyway, I'm going to go through before we get started hardcore. I'm going to go through some of the findings that they found in the press release, which were absolutely mind-blowing. But before I do that, I just want to remind you that if you have questions, please put your questions in the Q&A box. This is not my call. This is your call. I do commentary just to kill time for everybody to log in. Full disclosure, right? And so questions are already coming in, and I'm so excited. So please get your questions and bring your questions in so that we can definitely be of support to you. All right. So in the findings, first of all, one of the big things that they talked about was the state of recruiters, the state of staffing agencies. Will we be the same that we have been over the last 40, 60 years in the next 5 to 10 years, even now, being as though technology is here, artificial intelligence is here, machine learning is here. What is the role of the recruiter and the staffing agency, and will we still be of value? And before I answer that question, let me just say, first of all, staffing is still booming. Oh, yes. Yes, we are not going anywhere. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, so that finding in just about every survey that we've seen so far, staffing is still growing. Staffing is still booming. If you're on Facebook, you can put a whole bunch of hearts in because you are in the right industry. Hello. Okay, so staffing is still here and staffing is booming, and you're definitely 100% in the right industry. However, is there going to be a shift in the way recruiters are being used by companies? And the answer is by far 100% yes. Technology is 100% shifting the way or the value that staffing agencies bring. So back in the day, for anybody that's new, so first of all, for anybody that's new, I've been recruiting for over 20 years. When I started recruiting, I have to be honest with you, and y'all, the people who have been here for a long time have heard me talk about this, but we started with the yellow pages and the white pages, right? White pages for candidate search, yellow pages for company search or client search, and it was like picking the draw, like figure it out, right? And then fax machines came, email came, social media came, and the world of recruiting and staffing has completely shifted in so many different ways, right? So if you're coming in right now into recruitment and staffing, me and Henry were on a live webinar talking about LinkedIn. And one of the things he said is when I first started working with Dee and she mentioned this LinkedIn thing, I was like, what is this? And it's so funny. He was very anti-LinkedIn when he first started 2 years ago. But I've always been pretty thankful for LinkedIn because I know where we've come from, right? I know how far we have come from, the white pages and the yellow pages. So to have a resource like LinkedIn, even though I'm not a huge fan, I am a fan from the perspective that it does bring a level of convenience when it comes to finding talent and talking to hiring managers and different things like that, right? So it was definitely a different type of search back in the day. And for anybody that thinks recruitment and staffing is hard today, middle finger, you don't know hard until you have had to recruit and sell with the white pages and the yellow pages. Hello. That's all I got to say. You are completely blessed and you have so many resources under your belt, right? The internet has changed everything. Hold on, guys, because these lights, that light is so bright. My forehead is like, psh, I couldn't take it anymore. Anyway, so I just want to say that, you know, you really have it made, and from that perspective. Now, with that also being said, you know, technology is coming along at this point, and you're in, like, I don't even know how to explain my passion around what's happening right now. I've been in this industry so long, I've watched it do this to this to this to this to this, and we are like 2 years ago, I feel like we were like here, and now we're like at the top of this like changing point, and we have the opportunity to really get to experience recruitment and staffing during its transition. But the question is, will you be able to adapt to the transition that's taking place? Because many of us find our spot and we get comfortable. It's just like on a cold night. You know, we didn't really have a winter here in Atlanta. It was really warm. And then for about a week or so, it was like 30, 40 degrees and everybody was snuggled up. And then it got warm again today. And it's like, oh, wait a minute, what happened to blankets? So you kind of get warm and you get comfortable with doing things one way. And the thing with recruiting and staffing and the shift that's taking place with technology is, if you're like under the blanket and you're super warm, you're going to so be left behind. And I've been talking about this really aggressively on email, like, don't get left behind. This shift is taking place. And so that's what today's call is about for my commentary, right? Any other questions you bring in, I'll answer. But for the commentary piece of this today, I really want to talk about the shift is changing. So with that being said, this whole survey talked about how the role of recruiters are changing, and how, you know, it's no longer about just finding talent, right? For recruiters, that is definitely the core of what we do, but it is also about additional value that we bring. And for a lot of people, when they think of, oh, I'm going to start a staffing agency, all they think about is placing people. However, with the emergence of technology, companies now have the ability to find their own people differently. Even 5 years ago, you know, and probably in my prime, I would say, when I was killing it with 5 to 10 placements a week, literally, some of you can't even do one placement in a month. I'm just going to keep it real. Hello, did I say that? I'm going to keep it real. Some of you can't make one placement in a month. I was making 5 to 10 placements per week. Hello, as a single recruiter, okay? You know, technology is different. And it's back then, social media was like non-existent or not as irrelevant as it is today. I mean, at one point, it was like if you were on LinkedIn, you would get in trouble, right? Companies were banning their employees from being on LinkedIn. Now it's required, right? So this is just kind of a part of that technology shift. Y'all, I'm so sleepy today. A part of that technology shift that is happening. So we are being used in a very different manner. And I feel like we're at the place where we're more used to educate and to place versus to just place, right? Because it's not a secret as to like what recruiters, it's not about who you're just placing anymore. Henry just said it. He said a million words. He said, he said, it's not about just placing people anymore. He said, I already call myself a hiring expert. So it's a mix of recruiting and consulting within the hiring process. And that really is where we are. Anybody can get someone to find talent, right? I mean, there are millions of resources out there right now where you can go out and find talent, right? But do you have someone who's actually providing you with industry knowledge, who's really talking about great ways to really enhance your recruitment process and different things like that? And I don't feel like we're necessarily going in that direction. As a matter of fact, I have to admit, I get a little frustrated because a lot of times staffing agencies aren't even using their minds. They're not being creative. They're not being innovative. They're not interested in providing their clients with a true experience. They're just looking for the effing, did I say that right? The effing job order, which is not enough anymore. It's just not enough anymore. So I don't know how to stress that. It's just not enough anymore. You've got to bring more to the table. I sent this whole message out today, starting with the first bullet point, but let me get in it because I'm fired up tonight, y'all. Y'all can feel this energy. I'm literally fired up. Really quickly, hey Vita, hey Amelia, hey Jeannie, hey Satish. Who did I miss? Everybody? Okay, I got everybody. Okay, awesome. All right. Now, Quantrell, it's so good to see you. I'm so glad you're here for the first Q&A call. So in this email, in this press release, in the survey that ASA did, they said a couple of things I'm just going to mention really quickly. While most hiring managers believe technology will reduce recruiters' roles in the next 5 years, more than half of hiring managers also plan to increase their work with staffing firms, which is great. Okay. They said even with new technologies pushing industry evolution, staffing firms will continue to play a key role in the recruitment process. Yes. Hello, staffingpreneurs. Yes. Yes. So we do still play a key role in the recruitment process. But the question is, what is that role that we play within the recruitment process beyond just securing talent, right? So they found a whole bunch of findings. It was 16 different ones that I want to discuss here really quickly. I promise I won't take too much of your Q&A time because I know there are questions that are already on the board, but I do want to talk about this really quickly because we really need to have this discussion. So some of the findings were companies partner with staffing firms to improve and streamline hiring processes and most are not exclusively partnered with one firm. So for everyone out here who is working the VMS, hello, the VMS and the MSP kind of route, you know, and you're competing against other firms, the reason why companies are doing that is because they haven't found a real partner. They're looking for a real partner. And I talked about this today in the email. So many of us are players. Oh my gosh, did I say that? We're players. We're trying to poo nanny every company we can get. We just trying to get it in. Woo! We are players, but we're not partners. And there is definitely a difference. I asked the question today, are you a player trying to hit every company you can get into, or are you a partner looking to provide value to specific companies out there that are specifically created for you? Hello. Been preaching this thing for a long, long time. Hello. All right. So that's the first thing. The second thing they say is 44% of hiring managers plan to increase their use of staffing firms over the next 5 years, which is awesome. Hiring managers cite top pain points in the recruitment process as access to candidates with the right skills. How many are providing candidates with the right skills? And don't lie. I just want to say don't lie, because most of you are not. Most of you are just looking to what? Fill the job. You're not actually looking for the match, because I spent tons of time on a whole training. I made products. I did all this thing about how to take the job order and to convert the job order into screening questions so that you would know exactly whether or not your candidate is a fit. And most of you said, D, it takes too long. I don't want to do it. And you're out there pushing bullshit candidates to the hiring managers, wasting their time and money. Did I say that? Did I call you out? Oh, I'm so sorry. It had to be done. It had to be done. The conversation has to be had. Okay? So hiring managers cite their pain points in the recruitment process as access to candidates with the right skills. 52% said they don't get the candidates with the right skills. Okay? The time to hire. How long does it take to hire? How long does it take to hire? You're supposed to be the staffing agency. You're supposed to have a pipeline of talent. Thank you, Trudy. Girl, I work these things today, girl. You're supposed to be the one with talent. However, how many of you take the time out every day, an hour, 2 hours to just source? And I'm not talking about sourcing on job orders that you have open. I'm talking just getting into your niche. You see my grimy face? Getting into your niche and really calling top players or calling people in your niche space to find out, hey, how are you? Tell me what you love about your job. Tell me what the ideal opportunity looks like for you. What are your career goals over the next 5 to 10 years? Tell me, what would it take for you to leave your current opportunity? Like, I know I'm speaking very high level stuff here, but I'm being really serious. How many people are taking the time to actually sit down and to source? I mean, source and get to know your candidates and get to know your candidates. All right. So that when a hiring manager says, I'm looking for this, you can tap into your network and your network will work on your behalf in addition to the work that you're putting in to help you find the right person to fill the role. High five to the people who are doing it. High five. I already know Henry's on it. I already know he's on fire. Y'all see he's over here blowing up my chat box. I'm not even commenting on half of the stuff that he's saying. He's blowing it up because he's always taking this thing super seriously. You understand? He always has. High five to Henry Hando. High five. He said to me over here, he said, I had to fire 2 clients this week because they don't consider us as partners. We need open communication. How many people even have the ability, the girth to say, if you're not going to communicate with me, Mr. Hiring Manager, you're not worthy to be on my roster. Most of you are acting, what did my daughter say? Thirsty. That's what my daughter says. She's, oh my gosh, they're so thirsty, Mom. They like all up on my phone. They just so thirsty. Most of you are acting thirsty, running after the hiring managers. And so they feel like they can treat you any kind of way and not communicate with you because they got so many staffing agencies chasing after them. But you guys know, like I know, that when you chase after someone or something, what does it do? Repels. It doesn't stay. It repels. Ew, that's nasty. But when you play hard to get, what happens? They chasing after you. So we have created this hostile environment as an industry. And I feel like it's a lot of new people who don't understand the dynamics around recruitment and staffing, which is one of the reasons why I really am thankful that each and every one of you are here, because you're able to hear something totally different and shift the gears in your mind about how you're doing business with people. I'm fired up tonight. You got to know. I'm fired up tonight. All right. Now, they talked about budget. How many people talk to hiring managers about budget? And they're keeping it real around how to save money using recruitment and staffing and not just interested in taking their money. Hello, being a real partner. Think about what a partner is. If you're married, if you're in a relationship, your spouse is your partner. Do you treat your clients as partners? Very big difference. All right. The next thing they said was 66, not 62, 60% of hiring managers feel using a staffing firm would be very helpful in gaining access to the right candidates. If you're not pipelining, how do you have access to the right candidates? I'm going to tell you one thing that baffles me. Oh, I'm going to say it. I'm about to piss somebody off, but I got to say it. There are so many recruiters out here that are claiming that they provide top talent. However, they're recruiting from the very same place that the company who has the open position is and has been recruiting from for quite some time. Do you have the right candidates in real life? Do you mean to tell me there's only 1 to 3 resources for you to find talent? It's amazing to me how many people come to me, even my one-on-one clients that I coach on Voxer or that I'm with throughout the course. I can't find talent. I literally in the academy list 15 different ways you can find talent, but you don't want to take the opportunity to really learn how to reach out and connect in a different way. Everyone wants to take the easy way. Let's just go to the job board. Or this is the new thing. Let's just go into LinkedIn. But guess what? People are leaving LinkedIn just as fast as they're coming in, right? And we don't, and the thing is, they're leaving LinkedIn because LinkedIn is becoming a sales kind of platform, right? Which it really was from the very beginning. But nobody wants to enjoy a platform where they're constantly being spammed. And what I hear from people a lot, like I'm going out, I'm like, hey, you got a LinkedIn? And they're like, man, I left LinkedIn a while ago. And I'm like, why'd you leave LinkedIn? All I get is emails from recruiters or salespeople. So what's going to happen when LinkedIn is gone? I'm dead serious. I just want somebody to answer that. What's going to happen when LinkedIn is gone? What are you going to use when people get tired of LinkedIn and they figure out that this platform does not create the level of benefit that they want? Last year, I went to Afrotech, and my first couple of days, I went around with my microphone, and I'm like taking notes, and I'm talking to everyone there, and I'm asking them, because LinkedIn had a booth there. And the line was long as I don't know what, and they were taking professional pictures of people. And I said, tell me how you use LinkedIn and how often you log in. And 90% of the people that I talked to, I swear, they said, I only use LinkedIn when I'm looking for work. If I'm not looking for work, I don't even log in. If it's the emails, it's just too many messages. It just clogs up my inbox. I don't find real value in LinkedIn unless I'm looking for work. And I said, well, how often are you looking for work? Every 2 to 4 years. Do you understand? So all the emails and the messages that you're sending out on LinkedIn, people are only really paying attention every 2 to 4 years. Hello? And LinkedIn is the only place that we're going to go and source. Please open your minds, people. Vita said, oh, the bullying is real. Oh, it's really real. It's really real. Do not just use one resource to find talent. Okay? Henry said the key to recruiting right now is access the hidden talent market. So go to the places that nobody is going. I have been preaching for years. Trudy, Henry, y'all been at Constance. Y'all been here. What have I been saying? Start a podcast. Have I not? Get on your blog game. Get on your email marketing game. Get on your Boolean game. I've been screaming this for years, literally. Find other ways to make yourself visible. I was screaming start a podcast before it was popular. And then I was screaming it so much. What did I have to do? I had to go and create one to show you guys just how serious it was. But I'm just saying, we've got to dig in. It has to be more to recruitment and staffing than LinkedIn. They only have 600 million people. Facebook has 2.8 billion. I'm just saying. I'm just the messenger. Don't be mad at me. I can't even go through all of these. I don't have enough time. I got to answer the questions. Okay? Henry said, we already know you from the future. I am from the future for real. But I can't go through all of these. And I will every day on email. I'm literally touching on a different point of this thing. But I'm going to bring up just a few more if y'all bear with me. I promise I'll answer your questions. If you have any questions, put them in the box. This really is your call. It is not mine, but I just want to share some things with you and open your minds because I think we are all a little stuck and a little misinformed about what it really is to bring true value as a recruitment and staffing agency. Okay? All right. One of the things that I saw, the main reasons hiring managers do not work with staffing firms are that they were trying to save money, 40%, which means that we as staffingpreneurs are not doing a great job and showing the value. I talked to me and Trudy talked about this today. High five to Trudy. We talked about this today. Don't know how to show the value and how we could show them how to save money using staffing agencies. So we're not even doing a good job. We're not even doing a good job. Okay? We're not even doing a good job. The other reason when 28% said that, then they said, and they believe that the best candidates do not work with staffing agencies. Hello. And that's a major misconception. That's a major misconception. We're going to tap onto this in my email. I can't even go through all of it today. I'm so fired up. We're going to tap into this. Okay. One of the other things that they said, now, first of all, the majority of the list, they felt like staffing firms aren't up to date on their technology use. Now, interesting enough, a lot of staffingpreneurs still don't even have an ATS. By the way, you can go to crelate.com/D, because I feel like out of all the ATS systems on the market right now, for a startup, Crelate is the best resource. Now, as you expand and you grow, then you want to start looking into other things. But if you're a startup, Crelate is the best way to go, right? So they don't even feel confident that we even have the technology to be progressive. That's scary in itself. That's scary in itself, okay? All right, let's keep going. I'm going to just do 3 more bullet points. They said that this is the survey, so this is not D, so don't be mad at me. This is the survey. An American Staffing Association as well as Career Builder did the survey. They said hiring managers are made aware of new staffing firms through a variety of sources, including the firm's reputation within the industry. That was 12%. How many of you have a reputation in the industry? And how are you enforcing your reputation in the industry? 3 weeks ago, I put something in this box. I put on Facebook. I said, I'm doing a new course. It's called coursedomination.com. I want to show you guys how to use live webinars and courses to inform your clients on the benefits of staffing, right? To inform your clients. I think we have 5 staffingpreneurs actually joined the webinar and only 3 sign up out of hundreds of staffingpreneurs. Y'all ain't ready. Y'all ain't serious. Y'all not serious. You know, a great way to really to create a reputation and to show value is through webinars, through courses, through podcasts. Hello. Yeah, Job Adder's doing some amazing things, Henry. I love Job Adder's mobile app, Henry. Their mobile app is hands down better than anything I've ever seen from the staffing world to come out of the staffing world ever. Their ATS is big, it's bulky, but they have definitely become very innovative, and they're running side by side with Crelate, to be honest with you. And really, Henry, side note, this conversation right now is just me and Henry talking. The side note about them, Henry, is that they're international and Crelate is not. So if you're a staffing agency that's looking to tap into the international market, Job Adder is definitely the better ATS. And that's something that you don't see with a lot of American-based applicant tracking systems. So it is just by far, you know, one of my top 5 applicant tracking systems. And yeah, it is a little bit expensive and pricey, but you pay for the ability to expand worldwide. But if you're just staying in the US market, I still think Crelate is on top. That was a D and Henry conversation. And listen, y'all don't know this. Henry used to be one of my one-on-one clients. When I come to New York, almost every time I call Henry and say, hey, can I come by? And so he and I have this special love for technology. So we have these conversations. So y'all just happen to be here while he and I were conversating. You just happen to be here while me and Henry were getting it in. This is normal for us, okay? This is what we do. We talk tech, right? He's laughing, but he knows it's true. All right, now, let me go back in because me and Henry can go hours talking about technology. I mean, we absolutely love tech. That is one of the things that we have in common. Matter of fact, the first day we ever met, he came in with his fly phone. He's like, check this out, D. I'm like, no, you check this out, Henry. Like, we really get into it. All right, anyway, that was such a side note. I'm so sorry, guys. All right, So they said, okay, so reputation within the industry. Oh my gosh, I don't have a lot of time. I got to get my questions answered. Proactive recommendations. How many of you guys are really rocking it out in a way that people want to recommend you? And I'm not riding Henry's coattail tonight, but one of the things that I love that he does is that he's so interactive in LinkedIn that when he goes out and he goes to networking events and he does different things, people are constantly recommending him because he shows his value. Okay. And I got mad respect for that brother right there because his grind is on a totally different level. I was talking to someone today and we were talking about how a lot of people come with excuses. That brother never comes with excuses. His grind is on a different level. If it's a roadblock, he's looking to figure out how he can figure it out. And one thing that I love, he absolutely hated LinkedIn, but he found a way to find the usefulness in LinkedIn, and now LinkedIn works for him. Okay, so I just wanted to mention that really quickly. I love you, Henry. I really respect your grind. All right, so proactive recommendations, 12%, and through experience hiring with a firm at a previous job. Another thing they said was primary resources companies use when vetting new staffing agency firms are similar to how they initially learn about these agencies, including asking people in their professional networks for referrals, the firm's reputation within the industry, and reading the firm's website. How many of you got a bullshit ass website? I said it. I said it. I mean, who got a GoDaddy/Wix site? Don't take it seriously. Not providing real information, but just selling your services. Oh my gosh, I'm stepping on so many toes tonight. Because people really feel like the website is not a big deal. Here, 27% of the 800 and something people said reading the staffing firm's website. So if you think companies aren't reading your website, you're tripping. Just saying. I'm just saying. You're tripping. They're looking. They're reading. They're trying to look to see if whether or not you're trying to find and give them value or whether or not you're just trying to sell them something. Checking. All right. Then the last one I'm going to mention, and I'm going to answer these questions. I got a client at 8 and I got a live webinar tonight at coursedomination.com at 9. So I got to get out of here. Now, main reasons for selecting a primary staffing firm. Y'all need to hear this. The main reasons, I'm not even going to yell. I'm going to say this lightly. The main reasons for selecting a primary staffing firm, not a secondary. I didn't say a secondary. I said a primary staffing firm, include the firm's ability to find specific or niche skill sets. Now, let me really step on some toes here today. It's so interesting because you got here from watching my videos or reading my content about starting a niche recruitment and staffing business. And it's so many times I have heard people say, yeah, D, I know I hear you talk about the niche, but I feel like if I niche, I'm putting myself in a box. Hello? Anybody heard that? Put a thumbs up if you guys have even thought it or you've heard somebody say it. And you don't have to be shy because that's what you say. And you can say whatever you choose to, but this thing clearly says, I'm going to copy this because I don't want y'all to think I'm lying, because I'm not lying here. I think y'all have to, sometimes I think y'all just don't believe me. I'm kind of Mama D, but this is not something that I said. I promise you I didn't say this. This is something that they said. The survey found these findings, not me. So I'm just going to put it on here because I don't want y'all to think that I'm actually making things up. It says main reasons for selecting a primary staffing firm include the firm's ability to find specific or niche skill sets. Whew. I know that's hurtful for many of you. I know it's scary. I know. I know it is. It's scary. But the thing is, this is exactly why we get cheated on every day. This is exactly why we get cheated on. Because we can't even figure out ourselves. It's like, it's so interesting. It's like we can't even figure out ourselves what we want to offer. So we're staffing whores. We just got to tap into everything because we can't find the one thing that we're passionate about or the one thing that we want to dominate. Okay? Billy said, I want the niche. I can't function all over the place. People get all riled up about the VMS, but you go into a VMS, there are 10,000 positions in there. So many positions, you don't even know what to work, and half of you don't even move forward in your business because you got too many goddamn options. Too many options. When in all actuality, if you just sit down and just figure out what your niche is and solely focus on that and solely sell that, sell your value from that perspective, you will realize very quickly that you'll go so much further, faster. But I didn't say that. Y'all didn't hear that from me. It wasn't me. I promise you, this is the survey. I didn't even do the survey. I didn't even put the survey on. This is not my words. This is somebody else's words. It said main reasons for selecting a primary staff. I got to put the link in there. Y'all can see. This is the main reason, not my reason. Okay. The second thing was strong reputations. How do you acquire a strong reputation? You acquire that through the value that you give out in public, mainly courses, podcasts, email lists, blogs, events, all the things that you and I, not me, I'm doing it. All the things that we're not doing. So we're still living in 1989. I tell people all the time, and when people call me, I say, if you're calling me and you're looking to start a staffing agency with the model, with a 1989 model, you got the wrong coach. And then I give them a coach I give them 4 different coaches. There's only 8 of us in the market that are all 100% pure 1989 staffing. And I tell them to go there, but I'm not the one, right? Because you've got to do things differently in order to see a different result. You've got to do things differently in order to see a different result. Okay? So then they say it again. They said it again. Henry said, I say it again. I have days that I even can't work the VMS. I'm just saying. Okay? Then they said they also, the main reasons for selecting a primary, not a secondary. Notice that key word, a primary staffing firm, is the ability to find high quality talent. Not the same talent that they have already found on LinkedIn or the same talent that they found on a job board. They said high quality talent. And again, if you're finding high quality talent, that means that you have to have the ability to have conversations even when you don't have a job order. Even when you don't have a job order. We are recruiters. We're scout masters. We're matchmakers. We're investigators. Our job down to the core is to know everyone within our niche market. Everyone. As many people as we possibly can, whether we have jobs or not. But that's scary for many of you. That will require you to step out of your box and to actually have conversations with people that don't relate to jobs. And many of you don't understand even the role that you play in this industry. Okay? And I mean, this thing is over 16 different points. And every day, or every email that I send out for the next 15 days, because I started with day 1 today, we're going to go through this. And yes, I already sent the list out. And I posted the whole email in this group as well if you didn't catch that email. Okay? Because this is some serious stuff right here. And I know I stepped on a lot of toes tonight. And let me just say I love you all. And I'm saying everything with love. And I come across very strong. That's just my personality. But it's the passion that I want you to pay closer attention to. I want you to pay close attention to the passion that I bring in the conversations that I'm having with you, because I really want you to excel. I want you to thrive. I want you to be better. I want companies to step away and say, you know, I wasn't really familiar with the term staffingpreneur, but every time I come across one of them, they rock it out. That's what my goal is. That's the reputation that I look for us to have. So when I come into this group and I come into the Q&A call, I come hard. No excuses, no bullshit. I come hard and I come ready to really put some fire up under your butts, because a lot of you get very complacent and you get very comfortable with what you've seen in the past. See, people join Staffingpreneurs Academy with the 1989 idea of staffing. Oh, all I got to do is post a job on a job board, and then candidates are going to just flood into my little business as if they're on 19,000 other staffing agencies out there posting, and they're going to only work with me. And then I'm going to place them, and I'm going to make millions of dollars just doing that, which you and I both know that it doesn't work that way. You and I both know that this is a competitive space. We know that companies are vying for quality talent. If you have an opportunity to work with a company, and I want you to hear me and I want you to listen very well. If you have an opportunity to work with a company, by the time they get to you and they're at the point where they're ready to outsource, it's something that they couldn't figure out on their own. It's something that they couldn't do on their own, or they chose not to do on their own. So they chose to work with you because they feel like you're going to be a relief for them, right? I purchased glasses so that I could have relief in seeing, right? You know, I purchased a car so I didn't have to walk everywhere. I used to walk everywhere. I was skinny, but boo, my feet hurt so bad. So I got a vehicle. It's just convenience, right? It's value. And a lot of us are trying to offer something that they already have. We're not even thinking outside of the box and trying to find different ways that we can provide value. I mean, guys, I talked about doing a webinar and creating a course. A webinar becomes a course. If somebody knows that you know something that they don't know, they're going to come and follow you. That's one of the things that I talked about earlier and I love about Henry. Right? I never forget that a conversation that he and I had one day. He said, I think I've always loved him, but this was the day I fell in love with Henry. And I love your wife and I love your daughter, no disrespect. But he said he was on the line with a customer and he didn't even sell staffing. He literally sat on the phone with this customer for like 30 minutes and giving her ideas and different ways that she could better her hiring process. Oh, have you tried this? Have you done that? Well, have you thought about this? And I looked at him. I'm sitting in his office looking at him, and I'm like, you were giving him. He's like, yeah, I just gave him a couple of ideas. I said, just spewing ideas. It's just spewing ideas. I mean, just little things that they could have did differently. I thought that was helpful. Value. But most of us are players. And we're going after nothing more but that job order. You can't go after the money. You have to provide value. If you provide value, the money will flow to you. Oh my God. I talked to you guys for almost a whole hour. I got to answer some of these questions. I got really passionate for a moment there, but it's just because I don't want you to come across as the average agency. I want you to come across as someone who can really provide companies value beyond what they're doing. Now, in some niches, that's very challenging. When you're doing warehouse and light industrial, that's kind of challenging sometimes. When you're doing nurse staffing, that can be a little challenging at times. It could be. But I don't hear anybody saying, I'm going to build a technology to try to fix the process on nurse staffing, or calling the hiring manager and says, I know you guys are using travel nurses, but why? Why? Is there something you guys can't do? What can we do? What type of program can we put together to bring nurses out to your remote locations without you hiring travel nurses to show your value? Or you just fill in the roles, right? So I just want you to just take your business and look at things a little bit differently. I want you to look at your business a little bit differently. If you just got into this business to make money, and you guys, I had played a video of one of my clients, my past clients, I don't even work with him anymore, who was like, no, I'm just interested in making the money. That's fine. But you're the reason why we have the bad reputation. I'm looking for the people who are looking to actually give back, to actually support, to actually provide value, because that's when people really see the value in you and they decide they want to spend their money on you. Then they give all their money to you. They start giving you contracts that you can't even handle. Now you're calling me saying, D, can you reach out to some of the staffingpreneurs? Because I got these contracts that I can't even fill because you provided some level of value. So I want you to just think a little bit differently. I want you to think beyond the dollar sign. And I want you to start thinking with the V sign, the value sign. What type of value am I giving my clients? And what type of value am I giving my candidates? Okay, so that's my commentary. It was an hour-long commentary, and I cut it short, but there it is. So I'm going to start going through some of the questions here. If you put questions in the early beginning, honey, they're gone on my little screen here. You've got to come back in and you got to ask them again. I'm so sorry because I absolutely missed them. So come back in and ask your questions again. All right. Oh, okay, great. I was a little stuck. I was trying to see if I can pull my thing up, but Facebook won't allow me to look beyond a certain rank. So please put your questions back in. Tracy asked, will you continue to email the remainder of the list that you're going through? Of course I will. That's exactly what I'm doing today. But what did I miss? Kelly said, you're right. Working a VMS is like being in a candy shop and you don't know what to pick. You don't know what to pick. You don't know what to pick. It's just too much. I had another question here. What are the best employee referral programs that you recommend? It's so interesting because I'm going to be honest, I don't have a quote unquote a program that I recommend. But what I will say is that there are a lot of companies that started out as staffing agencies and they're now creating technologies that are employee referral focused. So do yourself a favor and do a Google search and type in employee referrals and see what comes up under that, because you're going to really, really see that there are a lot of there are few, just a good handful of companies that are focusing on the employee referral. Not only that, if you go to a company called Crunchbase, a website, I'm sorry, called crunchbase.com. So like you're crunching something up in the base, like tag base, you're it. Crunchbase.com. First of all, when you go on to Crunchbase, you're going to see all the billions of dollars that are being disseminated every week out to companies and every niche you can possibly think of that are in the startup world. And one of the cool things about that is that you can see a list of companies that are creating technology. So if you put in, referrals, employee staffing, you'll probably find a handful of great companies that are out there that are focusing on the employee referral space, but I don't know any offhand. So I'll be very transparent. So another thing, so we had another couple of questions and I gotta go in a couple of minutes. I actually have another client. So Satish is brand new. I just want to say, hey, Satish. Hey, Satish. I'm so thankful that you're here and you're definitely in the right space. And it's really awesome that you're asking questions, and I never want the questions to stop. I do want you to dive into the academy and go through the learning so that you can learn, so you can see everything from a full view, because in the Facebook group, there's only so much we can answer. But I do want you to continue to ask questions at the same time, and because we want to support you. We want to help you grow, especially since you're on in the US. So a couple of questions that you asked this morning. You said, if my business is registered in Australia or India, and I'm obviously doing business by providing staffing solutions in the USA, do I need to get registered in the USA as well? What are the legalities to be considered? The first thing I'm going to tell you is what my attorney tells me is to get a lawyer. I am not an attorney, and I cannot answer any legal questions whatsoever. But what I will say is if you're doing business in the US, you need to be registered in the US. Okay. And that's super important. Now I recently found out, Satish, depending on your niche. So I have a company that I'm working with very intimately in Canada. I've already been out there once working, and I got another flight booked to go out and meet with him again. I got another lady that that just signed up. She's in Canada as well. I believe I'll be traveling out to her as well. And if you are using a payroll funding company here in the US, you don't need to register your business in the US, because your business, your funds and all of that stuff runs through the payroll funding company, your back office company. So if you are doing like IT, you can use ARG, which is Staffingpreneurs Academy's funding partner, and then you would not have to register your business in the US. However, don't take my word for that. You need an attorney, and ask your attorney, because if I answer that and my attorney chimes in, who is a member of this group, and he sees me trying to answer legal questions, he's going to kick my tail, and I ain't about to have that. Okay. All right. So that's the first thing. The second question Satish asked was, so if we blindly follow the manual that was provided, are we able to get leads? Do some work? So let me answer that question. Yes, hands down. Yes. Okay. Do some recruiters prefer face-to-face discussion? Yeah, of course. I mean, some prefer face-to-face, some are phone only, some of email only. I think that if someone is only willing to talk to me via email and phone, they're probably not really that interested. That's my personal opinion. And I say that because when I'm not interested in talking to someone, I send them the phone to phone or email. Right. And so, I mean, that's what you do. You push people off. So the goal is to literally focus on getting that conversation. I mean, Satish, the reality is that you want to get the meeting, right? When you're trying to do business development. And I don't know if you had an opportunity, but I released a new product this week or over the weekend, and it was like how to start the conversation. It's actually a script. And I've been saying for years, I don't want to develop a script. I don't think you guys should have a script. You should speak from your heart with passion. But I've learned very quickly that a lot of people don't even have the girth to do that. So I put the script together, I put a video together, and just a whole thing to show you how to create your own script. So you might want to go to recruitmentstore.com. It's on sale to the end of the week for $24, and go in and create your script so that you can have good conversations with hiring managers. I'm going to get to you in 1 second, Billy. The other question was, you always say to identify the niche. Instead, that if I identify some 20 skills and update the same in my website, the chances of getting leads is high, right? What's your views on identifying your niche? It's not really, and like as I stated earlier, it's not that I'm so passionate about you having a niche. It's just you have to be able to know your market. And I just know the staffing market enough to know that hiring managers they're so uninterested in working with agencies who offer everything, because it's a lie. It's bullshit. Let's call it what it really is. You know, like I know that you don't offer all the things that you say that you do. You can't fill all the positions that you say that you do. When you say I do all of IT, that's so not true. It's a lie. And I think it's so unfair that we lie the way that we do. It's unfair. It really is. And so for years, companies have bought into this lie. Oh, I'm going to work with this company because they fill all these roles. And then they put it out there and they tell you to fill a role. And I work personally with staffingpreneurs, personally, who could not fill one role, much less fill a role that suits the entire industry. And I think they're just tired of the lies. And so I saw that many years ago. And I realized, you know, if people focused on the niche, then companies will probably receive them a little bit differently. And that became true and now that is kind of like the thing. It's like, what's your niche? right? And you'll be very surprised how many companies even are listening to my podcast and sending me messages saying, thank God somebody is talking about this. I'm so thankful to hear somebody's talking about the niche. They're just tired of being lied to. So if you've got 20 positions, you damn sure well better have a pipeline full of 20 different types of positions. And when you say, what's a pipeline? When I start my newbies on a search, the people that I work with on a one-on-one basis, I tell them you can't even start calling clients until you have actually had 50 physical conversations with candidates within your specific niche space. So I 100,000% disagree with 20 positions. Now, you're the boss. I'm just the coach. Okay? You're the boss. I'm just the coach. So you have to make that choice and decision. But what I do think is that you should not lie and say you cover all roles, because the one of the major values, and we saw that today in the survey, is the ability to present talent quickly. So if you don't have a network, right, and your net worth is only as good as your net work. So if you don't have a network within all of those different positions in the industry, you really, what type of value are you bringing? I didn't say that though. That was somebody else. That was the hiring managers in the survey that said that. Okay. So leads it's not about the chances of getting a lead. Again, that's a very thirsty approach. You know, it's about the value that you bring to companies. And when you have value, then you can go in and say, I know what you need. I know the challenge that you're experiencing. I know the loss that you have. I see where, you know, and this is what I provide. I can fill that particular need. And that need doesn't have to be to fill all of IT or all of nursing or even every type of nurse. So like really quickly, you know, most people don't even understand, if you're going to work a VMS, how to work a VMS. You don't work a VMS to fill 10,000 roles. You pick your niche and you wait. VMS is not your core business development piece. You should have clients that are your core. Your VMS is a supplement. And you get on that VMS and you wait for positions to be posted in your niche only. And then you fill the roles in, because now you can dominate. Every time those roles come in, bam, 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 bam. But that's a whole different conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, I might be moving out of my comfort zone. Y'all might be saying, D, you doing too much. You know, it could be, you know, I don't know. I'm just here to just provide some insight to some folks here. Hey, Tasha. Hey, Nicole. Okay. I saw... What else did I miss? I'm trying to see if I missed. So do I need to register? Okay, yes. I was under the impression that we should basically be in person to have a better rapport than operating remotely. You can definitely operate remotely today. Look how you and I are operating. There are people on this call from India. There are people on this call from Asia. There are people on this call from Australia. There are people on this call from Africa. There are people on this call from the United States. We're all here at the same time. And there's like 5 different time zones going on right here during this one very call. You can definitely operate remotely. People are not anti. This is not 1989. This is what is this? This is 2019. We're going into 2020, right? Somebody's laughing at me. This is, I mean, of course, people meet on GoToMeeting, on Zoom, on Uber conference, on joinme.me, all types of things every day, all day. The only thing that's keeping you in a distance is you. I say that with love. But targeting clients remotely would have an impact on the flow of business. Actually, it will have it will. And let me say this, targeting clients remotely will have an impact on the flow of business. It surely will, a very positive one, because you don't have to get in your car and drive, which means you can save time. You don't have to get on a flight and fly, which means you can save time. All you need to do is schedule the appointment. Hey, Lakeisha. All you need to do is schedule the appointment and show up online. So it very well does impact the flow of business. It impacts the flow of business in a massively positive way if you're willing to step out of your comfort zone and to do so. We'll be grateful if you could speak on something on operating the business remotely and targeting clients in the U.S. That would be highly beneficial to newbies like me. Tax returns, I'm not an accountant. Talk to your accountants. And if you're using a payroll funding company, they'll do your taxes for you. So, you know, you need to talk to your accountant. Let me just talk about this. We'll be grateful if you can speak something on operating the business remotely and targeting clients in the US. I mean, I don't know what else to say. You target clients in the US just by showing value. Hands up. That's it. You just got to show value. You know, you got to reach out to clients and show them value. You got to reach out. I mean, like I said, I spent about 2 days, really. I'm not even going to tell you a story, like putting together that whole script for you, what questions not to ask, what not to say, and what to say. And actually, I gave you an exercise on how to generate your script, how to create your script. Okay. And you just have to do that. You have to show value. You have to put the time in and put the work in to do that. And I'm just going to say, more importantly, something that a lot of you absolutely hate to do and refuse to do. You've got to do research. You've got to do research, and you've got to learn your market. And I did a whole course called the $1 Million Playbook. I gave it away for free initially. Does anybody know about that? Is anybody on this call that attended the $1 Million Playbook training? Or is it just me? I'm so thirsty. I'm sorry. Okay, Henry was here. Henry said yes. Trudy was here. I did a whole thing on the $1 Million Playbook. A whole thing on the $1 Million Playbook. Look at me. I'm being all messy over here. And now the whole thing on the $1 Million Playbook was 1,000% about learning your market. But a lot of people don't want to learn their market. And a lot of people don't really want to do the research. They just want to go in and hit it and split it. They want to be players and not partners. And, you know, I don't know. Thanks, Tayana. She was there. You know, I appreciate that. You know, it's on a recruitmentstore.com, and it's also in the Facebook group. I posted it on there as well. Vita's asking where it's at. I'll post it again. But it's a whole thing. Like, you got to learn your market. And when you understand your market, then you'll be able to literally service your clients better. Right. And so I was talking to someone today, I won't call them out, and they said, Dee, maybe it's not that they don't know how to, they don't know their market. It's that they don't know how to tap into their market. They don't know how to do market research. And I'm almost 1,000% sure that the $1 Million Playbook shows you step by step how to do market research. I think it does 100%. It shows you step by step how to perform market research, right? So, you know, call, pick up the phone, email, text, be strategic. You know, one of my favorite things, one of the things one of the strategies that I've used over the years that still works very well is literally there are candidates out there floating in the universe with resumes and LinkedIn profiles that worked formally at the companies that you're trying to do business with. Why don't you just call them and ask them information about the company that you're trying to do business with? Man, that's not even rocket science. I mean, that's just, I'm just giving you, I mean, that's just a freebie. I mean, that's just something very simple. Hey, I'm interested in working with IBM. Let me find 20 candidates who recently left IBM and give them a call and just ask questions and gain intel. Because you can learn a lot about a market, you can learn a lot about a company, and you can also learn a lot about market just by talking to people. The other thing that I want to say very quickly, a lot of people, this Staffingpreneur today said they don't really know how. If you're not talking to candidates on a daily basis, you're never going to learn your market. But if you're talking to candidates on a daily basis, whether you have job orders or not, all the data that you need is right there. And you don't even have to work hard for it. You can find out what a company is paying, what the average market rate is. You can find out what the biggest challenges are, what the biggest setbacks are. You can find out who's hiring, who's firing, who's laying off, why. You can find out who's racist and who's not. You can find out who hires millennials and who doesn't. You can find out who's man-friendly and not female-friendly. You can find out who's stealing, who's not. Like, candidates talk. They tell you everything. All you got to do is have conversations and build a relationship. But if you're not having those conversations, then you're not going to hear anything. And you're going to just be sitting around trying to figure out how to figure it out. So, I think it's super important that you really invest in your business. Hey, Renasha, you got to invest in your business. You've got to really put the time in. A lot of you want to make money today, and that's really cool. But if you're not doing the work before that, right? If you're not putting the work in ahead of time, then you're never going to make money. You're going to be here 2-3 years later, still having the same conversation, trying to figure out why you haven't made any money. You've got to put the time in. I say this all the time. Not one of you, if you went and saw a plot of land and put your money down on that plot of land, it has nothing but dirt. And your husband or wife came home and said, okay, we got this land. I want to get all the furniture that we have and we're going to move it onto this land without having the actual house built. Y'all would look at your partner like, what? You tripping. You would look at your partner like we need a floor. We need a ceiling. What if it rains? It's cold outside. We need a roof. We need stairs. You're never going to move into a house, right? Or onto some land without the house being built. However, you start businesses without the foundation, right? So you've got to define what your priority is around the business, okay? Trudy said it. And that she just said $1 million right there. She said, talk long enough and you can get their bank account numbers. These people will tell you I've had people literally give me the entire executive roster, home number, email, home address, desk number. I mean, they done gave me the personal company roster, especially when they done left. Sometimes they're not even leaving on good terms. So they're looking for a reason to sabotage. Not saying that you should take advantage of that, but I'm saying that you just have to use your mind and think strategically. How can I learn my market? How? Okay, final question that I see here. At this time, I can't afford an ATS. I'm trying to create a candidate target list. What is the best thing to do? Okay, Billy, I'm going to say something, and you're not going to like what I'm about to say. So I'm going to say two things. If you can't afford an ATS, I would not do this business until you can. So that's the first thing. And that's some real talk, because it takes money to run this business. And the ATS is your technology. It is your technology. So you've got to go find one. That's number one. Number two, there are free applicant tracking systems out there. I don't recommend them, but there are free applicant tracking systems out there that you can use, or very inexpensive applicant tracking systems out there that you can use until you can get to the point where you can afford one. But, I'm going to say some real stuff here. I was following this guy on Instagram. Really, I found him on YouTube. His name is Derek Jackson. And I started following him with this one post. He said, so I'm single, and I don't say I'm on the hunt for a spouse, but I'm definitely single. So I'm open to meeting people. And he talked about broke penis. He talked about the fact that guys are out here trying to solicit women and sex, and they're broke and they have nothing to bring to the table and they have nothing to offer. And that really caught my attention, and it made me think about people starting a business. You don't start a business when you don't have money. You start a business when you have money, not when you don't have money. Okay. And this is not specific to you, because you're not the only one. Okay. But if you're going to grow this business, you have to have enough money to be able to sustain the bare minimum. So just like you don't live in your house without electricity, you don't run a staffing business without your ATS. It's the first thing you have. You understand? And I say that with pure love. It is no malice. I'm not being funny. I'm not being hateful. I'm not being ignorant. I don't even know how. I'm not anything you think on the negative end of the spectrum. I'm not saying it. And I'm personally not even directing it to you, Billy, because you are not the only person that's on this call right now or watching the replay that's in the same place. But I have to tell you, I just got to be very upfront. I'm a very authentic coach. Always have been and always will be. I'm going to keep it real. Do not start this business with $0. If you're going to pay for anything, you need to have an ATS. That is your bread and butter, period. And that's the only thing that I can really say about that. So find a free one, find an inexpensive one, but that's the big bill that you pay every month. And you must pay that bill every month. The same way you keep your lights on in your house, the same way you keep your hot water on in your house, you've got to have your ATS. It's not an option. 10 years ago, it was an option. Today, with technology being the forefront of everything, you have to have, at a minimum, your applicant tracking system. If you're not even using, AI. Do you know what I'm saying? So he said no broke penis. I say no broke entrepreneurs. Okay. So Henry said Zoho, the first month is free and then it's $25 a month. Figure it out. Call your mama, your sister, your brother, your cousin, make it happen and pay the bill every month. If somebody calls me and they say, D, I don't have an ATS, then I'm like, why are you even in this business? You've got to have an ATS. People don't use spreadsheets anymore. I mean, the whole list that I was just reading off, I didn't read off all of the stuff that was on the list, but half of the bullet points was about technology. Staffing firms must be up to date on technology use. 67% of hiring managers believe it is very or extremely important for their staffing firms to use up-to-date technology. 74% of hiring managers believe using up-to-date technology can help differentiate a staffing firm. I mean, at staffing firms, leaders cite inconsistent use of systems as their biggest frustrations with technologies, while at the field level, main frustrations can be attributed to outdated candidate data. Applicant tracking systems are ranked as the most valuable technology used by staffing firms, followed by social media and job boards. However, both leadership and field workers at staffing firms believe ATF technologies are in the most need of improvement. The most common resources used include technologies to match open jobs to potential candidates. I mean, almost the entire whole middle section of this survey, the hiring managers, and we're talking about staffing agencies using technology. It's about that we are in a technology where this is not 1989. It's just not. You have to use technology. You got to. You got to be spending your money on marketing and tech. Your two bills should be on marketing and tech. That's it. Marketing and tech. And then you use your payroll funding company to cover your payroll. If you're a small business. You understand? I absolutely hate Facebook. Don't tell them I said that. I don't like social media. I don't like to get on social media. I feel like it invades in my privacy. I don't think that people need to know where I'm at every moment of the day. I don't feel like people need to know what I'm wearing, what I'm doing. I just don't agree with those things. However, it is a part of society. So you see me get on. You see me talk. I am actually pretty shy. I'm an Aquarius, as outgoing as I am. I'm very aloof. I like to, if you left it up to me, y'all would never see me on camera. I would be sitting here, I swear on my life, 90% of the time that I'm working from home, I'm naked. I sit right here, butt naked, servicing my clients. I don't want to put on clothes. I don't want to be on camera. I'm not interested in everybody knowing my personal life. My mama didn't raise me that way. As a matter of fact, she raised me very differently. She said, you tell my business, I'm going to F you up. That's what my mama said. Yet, social media requires you to get out there. I don't like it, but I know that if I want to do business, I know that if I want to be an industry leader, if I want to grow my reputation, if I want people to see me as the person that I really am, I've got to get on social media against my own will. And trust and believe that if I got to put clothes on, it's against my own will. I believe we should all come the way we came into this earth, naked. That's how we should walk. That's how I feel personally. And Vita's laughing at me, but that's serious. I feel like everybody should walk around the planet naked. Fat, skinny, white, black, I don't care. We should all just be naked people. But that's just not the way things are anymore. And you got to get on social media. And I say that to say, you've got to get on, you've got to get your tech game going. You got to get your tech game going. And it can't be a kind of like a, well, do I do tech or not? Or should I or not? Or what do I do in replace of? It's just not an option. If you're running a niche recruitment and staffing business, if you're running a recruitment and staffing business, you have to have an applicant tracking system. So find one. Okay. I think, and Billy, I love you. Mwah, let me give you some love, Billy. Satish. Yes, Monica. Yes, Vita. Yes, Trudy. Henry. Jeez. Yes. Who else is on here? Let me get some more love. I got to get some more love going on here. Hold on. I ain't done yet. Who else is on here that I'm missing? Okay. Renata! Kristen! Tracy! You got to get it on here. Like, I love each and every one of you. I know this was a hard conversation tonight for many of you. If I touched on, if I hurt anybody's feelings, I just want to say I apologize. That totally was not my intention. I am really a hard ass coach though, right? But I just feel like it's better to be honest than to beat around the bush with things. I tend to be pretty upfront and things like that. So, but I mean no harm. You know, my heart is, I promise you, full of love. Full of love. That's where I come from. So if it's anything you guys need, if you have any additional questions, I'm officially 28 minutes late for my 8 o'clock client, which I'm sure they're like, D, what the hell, right? So if it's anything that you guys, you have any additional questions, I want you to put them under this video in the Facebook group so that I can answer. Because I do, believe it or not, even though I don't log in or I don't comment every day, I am literally in this group every day watching and listening. And some people I comment on, some people I just wait to see if somebody else is going to comment. Constance, I just want to give a huge shout out to her because when I'm not here, she is always grinding on my behalf, and whether we talk or not. So let's give some love to Constance. Yes. I also want to give a special shout out to Henry because he's always grinding in the group on behalf of D. Williams. Tiffany is always grinding in the group on behalf of D. Williams. Trudy is always grinding on behalf of the group here. You know, I just want to give some love to those staffingpreneurs because I'm in and out. Now, final things before I go. So my doctor moved my doctor's appointment to the 13th. Pam Scott has been sending me the most awful videos. So I have a lipoma and it's on my neck. I've been trying to wear earring to kind of cover it up, but I think you guys can see here how it's kind of poking out of my neck there. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's pretty brutal for me to look at, but it's just like poking out here. And so, and as you can see, this one is a lot different. I don't have anything here. And so Pam keeps sending me these videos, right, of this lady who specializes in getting rid of lipomas. And she's so lyric. I showed one the lyric, right? And Lyric called Pam back, was like, I love you, Miss Pam. Please stop sending my mom these videos. We have anxiety over here watching this. I thought that was so cute. Pam was like, I'm so sorry. But I just want to give a shout out to Pam. Thank you so much. Last week, we thought that the lipoma was something different, and we thought that it was cancerous, and thank God that it's not. And so it's very benign for what we can tell. And we go back. So I go to my doctor's appointment on the 13th, which is next Wednesday, and I'm very excited about that. So hopefully this will be a one-day surgery. I'm in and out with no issues, and then I can go back to feeling like myself without my neck bulging out. I'm in the gym 2 hours a day, so my face is slimming down in my neck, and the more it does, this thing just pops out, and in the morning, it is massive. So I'm very insecure about it, but at the same time, y'all know this is me. I'm a fighter. You know, I just keep going with the flow no matter what happens. So for everybody who's been sending me text messages and emails and all the love and the healing energy, I receive it. Thank you so much. I need it. My nerves are nowhere near where they were last week, thanks to Pam. And I'm so thankful that that is, you know, it's not, if it ain't cancer, I can get through that with my eyes closed. If it's cancer, I got to put a little inner work going on, but it's not that, so I can really do that. So I'm really thankful. So once I get rid of this, y'all probably see me back on YouTube live. It's just my camera, my production. Let me show y'all this. My production camera. Y'all see this? Let me see. This one is brutal. It shows every pimple, every bump. Now let me show you this one. This one is a little bit easier. So I got cameras everywhere. As you see, I got another camera there. So we got cameras all through this studio, right? So that one over there, when I sit down in this chair, my neck looks like this. It's like brutal. I'm like, I'm never getting on YouTube again. You know, so as soon as that's done, I will definitely get back on YouTube. Oh, thank you so much, Satish. You're so good. Pam said, I'm listening while driving, so I really can't say anything. I sent those videos. I know you sent them with love. You know we love you, Pam. It ain't even nothing like that. Listen, I'm going to tell y'all, Pam is the one that really shifted my mindset. Because when my doctor called me and said, oh, I'm moving your appointment, I'm taking my wife to Hawaii on a special trip, I was like, the first person I really called was Pam. I was like, Pam, you'll never believe what just happened. And she brought something to my attention. She said, well, D, I see that as a good thing. Because like if it was an emergency, he would never leave. The fact that he's comfortable enough with leaving for a week and rescheduling your appointment says that things are really okay. And so, Pam, you do not have to explain yourself. I'm teasing you with love. Yes, me and Lyric definitely had anxiety over the videos, but you really did. You have been such a major positive force in my life through this particular situation, just by sharing those things, the anxiety and fear that I felt last week about it being cancerous, and because they said it wasn't moving. It's got to move. They said it's got to be flexible in order for it to not be cancerous. They got to be able to touch it and it just floats around in there because it's fatty tissue. And when I first went, it wasn't moving. And so they really scared me and made me think it was cancerous. And then we took the ultrasound before the MRI and they said, well, we don't really see anything. And we took the MRI and they was like, yeah, I definitely don't see it. If it is cancerous, it's like a 0.1%. And I'm like freaking. And it was really Pam that said, you know, let me show you that this is something that happens every day. I know people who've experienced this, D. It's not a big thing. You don't have to freak out. And as a matter of fact, I probably didn't even notice it. Most people say they don't notice it unless I bring it up. I think I tend to do a good job of hiding it, whether it's with my hair or my earrings or a shirt. So Pam, you do not have to apologize. Honestly, you are my angel. You know, you came to Atlanta and said I was yours, but the reality is that you're mine. So no reason to apologize. Lyric and I are so thankful. I think for her, she's 15, so it freaks her out to even think I'm going under the knife. but we love you. And you are definitely someone that we cherish. And I love you even more because my mom was doing something totally different than what you was. She was like, I'm taking off for the rest of the year. I'm moving in. I'm like, oh God, this lady can't cook. This lady gonna drive me crazy. Pam, you can come stay with me versus my mama. You know, oh, we got to get your will updated. She's already trying to take me down. I'm trying to tell y'all, okay? My mama was trying to take me down. Who you living money to? You know, who's getting a house? All types of things. Pam, you know, she was completely opposite. Like, hey, D, it's not that bad. I think this is something that's pretty simple. Let me just tell you a little bit about it. Let me tell you what I know. Let me show you. So, Pam, I love you. I appreciate you. You're my sweetheart forever. And do not apologize for the things that you do and how you give to me, because I appreciate that. And my daughter appreciates that. So, but I wouldn't be D. Williams if I didn't tease you. I just wouldn't be. So I got to do it. I got to tease you a little bit. Okay. So that's all I got to say. You don't cook over there anyway, D. Girl, we're vegan / vegetarian / pescatarian. We don't own a microwave. All we do is cook. My oven looks like it. We just got a brand new stove 2 years ago. It looks like we've had that mofo for 20 years. So all I do is cook. I mean, and I'm a beast in that kitchen. Don't get it twisted, all right? That's why I'm mad that I'm single, because I'm a beast in that kitchen. Hello. So we got to wait 45 minutes for our meal to get done. Half of y'all don't know what it feels like not to have a microwave. Hello. Vita. I'm just saying. Half of y'all don't know what it feels like to have to wait for that meal to be done. I am so having fun with y'all tonight. Like, Tiffany, we shout you out. You missed it. You got to come back and watch the replay. I'm getting off of here, honey. My client is going to fire me literally because I am late. And again, if y'all want to come onto the live webinar tonight and you want to use online webinars or courses to inform your clients as a way, our class started yesterday at 7 p.m. So tonight is the last presentation. Actually, I turned the marketing off tonight. And we have 7 people already in the course. The course maxes at 15 people. So if that's the route that you want to go to coursedomination.com, join the live webinar, and get your slot tonight. But I absolutely max at the 15, because this course is very hands-on. And so it's not like Staffingpreneurs Academy where you can come in and just go to any part. No, it's structured. Even the material is disseminated out on a weekly basis. And you have homework and assignments on a daily basis. So it's very, very, very differently. Yeah, we do go out a lot and eat, Vita. Vita, we do eat out a lot. But when I'm on a journey to lose 80 pounds. And I know some of y'all are probably like, that's crazy, but I weigh like 250 pounds, which I don't seem like I do. I'm gonna show y'all though, but I weigh like 250 pounds. This is the biggest I've ever been in my entire life. So I want to get back to my normal weight. And so when you do that, you can't eat out because you don't know how many calories they put in that stuff. So you got to cook. So I got to cook, Vita. I can't eat out no more. Although I did have a lunch date today and he was hot. But that's a whole nother story. Like Tiffany, oh, it's at 9 o'clock. So I only have 20 minutes to grovel to my 8 o'clock client. And then I'll be chiming in. It's coursedomination.com. We're having a lot of fun, and people are already loving it. And it's the Facebook group is banging as well. They're really quiet in the group. But it's really structured out. It's definitely nothing like this course is structured very different than Staffingpreneurs Academy. So I think that that you guys would appreciate this course in more detail. Thank you, Vita. You see my little weight loss journey going on. So anyway, and anybody want to join my weight loss journey with me? I work out twice a day, once at 4:00 p.m. and then I do my second workout at 1 a.m. Don't judge me. I just have to find the time in my schedule to do it. So at 1 a.m. I'm typically on the elliptical, or I'm lifting weights or something like that, with Drake in my ear. My playlist is like 90% Drake and Kendrick Lamar. Just getting it in, working it out. So I love it. All right. I love you guys. Oh, Tiffany, 38 pounds. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. See, you're on this weight loss journey with me. Tea. I drink a lot of tea. I also drink a lot of vegan coffee. I don't know who was teasing me about my vegan coffee, but it's called bio coffee, and it is phenomenal. It's actually made out of wheatgrass. So you get all your vitamins and herbs. And then I sent this to Pam, but I don't know if you guys noticed, I'm a huge pasta freak, right? I love pasta. And Bird's Eye or Bird's View is the brand in the frozen section at the grocery store. They sell vegetables, but now they sell veggie pasta. So it is actually like penne pasta with Alfredo or rotini or whatever, but the actual pasta is made out of lentils and different things like that. Some of them are really, really good. Some of them are you want to barf. So you just got to play around with it to see which ones that you like the most. But it's only 400 calories for the bag. And so it's really, really cool way to do your pasta. I have, y'all don't see my water bottle, but I have a gallon of water. I think I drink a gallon a day. And y'all giving me so many good tips. I love it. And you do a 50-cent playlist. Yeah. Vegan tea, yes, really good. I love vegan tea, yes. Vita down 5 pounds this week. Everybody, yes, Trudy Birdseye, yes. Everybody's on a weight loss journey with me. We got to tag it in the group or something like that. I've lost, I think, about 18 pounds. So that's not bad. I mean, I was getting pretty bad over here. I sit at my desk the majority of the day if I'm not traveling, and naked. And so I'm just sitting here eating naked, right, while I'm working. And it's I'm just gaining. And I really felt like I was too busy to work out. And so when I started out, I think my thing was, I was talking to Jackie Lewis, and she was like, we got to join this challenge. I was like, Jackie, that's on the other side of town. We live in Atlanta. I ain't about to go through traffic. And so I joined a virtual challenge initially, and I saw kind of his process. And one of the things that he did was he had you work out twice a day. I was like, oh my gosh. But I noticed that all of his workouts were only 35 minutes long. And I thought, I can invest 35 minutes twice a day. That's 35. I have conversations with people that are hours, right? So I really got into this mindset of I'm going to invest 35 minutes a day. 37. I do 37 because 7 is my number. So 37 minutes a day, twice a day. And after a while, my 37 minutes started going by really quickly. And I realized that I didn't want to just do 37 minutes. I wanted to do 45 minutes. And then 45 minutes turned into an hour. And so my goal is to get rid of all of my, at least the majority of my, what do you call those, addictions, and turn my addictions into to become an addict to working out, at least until I reach my my ideal goal. So my ideal weight is 170 pounds. At 170 pounds, I am exactly where I want to be. So I have, a little ways to go, but I can also already tell I'm fitting back into some of the old clothes that I had. So y'all going to see some throwback outfits that I'm just glad to be able to fit into. And I'm really excited about that. Bird's Eye is on point. Trudy said she lost 15 pounds, 14 pounds. That's awesome, Trudy. I love that. No, see, I did keto. I lost 24 pounds in 1 week. And then I got off of keto and I gained 30 pounds in 1 week. So I was like, I'm never doing keto again. Because I feel like with keto is something you have to create it as a lifestyle. And I'm not sure I'm really ready to make that keto my lifestyle type of thing, Yeah, your husband can't train you 3 times a week, $60. That's not bad. Yes, turning fat into muscle. Yeah, my addiction is sweets too. And listen, Tiffany, this is the funny part. When you go into Planet Fitness, they have this big bucket of Tootsie Rolls. I'm like, why do you guys have Tootsie Rolls in here? As I am a candy fanatic. If I told you guys all of my addictions, you would be like, D, you're weird. But I'm just going to tell you a few of them. Wine is a major addiction for me. Work is a major addiction for me. Now and laters, great now laters. I can eat 50 packs of great now laters in one session. It's like a major addiction for me. I won't tell you the other two because y'all might say, I don't know if y'all ready for the other two, but I mean, those are like, I have 5 major addictions and I just gave y'all 3. So my goal is to take out of those 5, 3 of those addictions and replace them with working out. And the other 2, I actually enjoy them so much. I don't want to, I would rather keep my addiction, or at least 2 of them, because I actually enjoy working. I think working is a great addiction to have because, you know, you're benefiting in so many different ways, not just financially, but you get to help people. And I'm telling you, every time one of y'all tell me y'all have made a placement or you're doing great in your business, my heart fills with real joy. I don't even know if y'all know what real joy feels like, but it fills with real joy. And I'm like overly joy. And that really gets me going. So I really enjoy my work addiction, but I have to create a little bit of balance enough for me to at least invest in working out. And there's somebody on this call, I won't mention her name, but we had lunch last year, I think it was. And I was talking to her and she said lightly and not so many words, oh, you're one of those girls who are like weight conscious. And that was like a really big eye opener for me, because that let me know that I talk about my weight. I was clearly uncomfortable with it, but I wasn't willing to do anything to change it. And here I am talking about having individual audacity and all the amazing things that you have the power to do, but I didn't have the power within myself or the individual audacity in myself to change something that I didn't like about myself. And so it took me some time to really digest that thought process. And I mean, that her sentence, she won't admit to the sentence that she said. She said, I didn't say that. She did, but it stayed in my mind for a whole year until I finally decided. I said to myself one day, instead of obsessing over that, why won't you just get up and do it? Why won't you just do it? What is the issue with why? And not to bring staffing back up, but for some of you, that's the same question. What's holding you back? So it was like, what was holding me back from shifting? And the only thing that was holding me back was me. I had to really sit down and I had to have a one-to-one, heart-to-heart conversation with myself. And I had to decide that my health and the way I looked and the way I felt was so much more important than the conversations that I was having about it, right? And that I was not going to be a hypocrite, that I was going to be the example. And when I really decided, I told myself it's not something that I want to do. It's something that I have to do, just like I have to pee, I have to eat, I have to shower, I have to work out. And I really kind of started programming my mind like, you didn't work out today, you have to do that. Like, what are you doing? So so that's kind of the role that I'm taking. And I pray that that I continue to stay on that journey. And if y'all see me gaining weight, y'all better check me the way I check y'all. Just be like, D, what's going on? Just check me. My feelings don't get hurt. They might, but it's okay. I need that. Just be like, D, I don't see you doing your grind. I don't see you working out. What's up with that? Where's your IA? Where's your individual audacity about working out? And just remind me, because even though I'm your coach around things, I still get coached too. And I need that support as well, because so I can reach my goals. So I love that. Yeah. I love that, Billy. All right, awesome. Now my webinar starts in 10 minutes. I've got to go. I love you guys, Siobhan. It's so good to see you. I will see you guys in a month on Q&A, but of course I'll be in the group reaching in, reaching out, talking to you and connecting with you. And if you have any additional questions, post it under the Facebook group. I love you guys. Have an amazing day. Thanks so much for being here. I love you. I really do. Wait a minute. I don't want to promote this. Y'all have a great day.